frustration. It was quite remarkable. She tirelessly took care of all of us. I hope she knew how much I appreciated it. When Julie joined us one year, the fun just grew. I remember house painting, loud music, frisbee, basketball, a red Triumph TR7, and Rocky's Deli. It's all a bit hazy now, but I was cool, and life was good. Millwood and North Chemung, another summer hangout, which is where my mother grew up, were two ends of the same heaven. Of course, I was in the midst of growing up. I think my brain was only half developed at that point, as opposed to 55% now. Whatever advice I tried to pass on to the permanent Millwood folk, specifically Jonathan, was probably not very wise. No, this is Randy. This is Randy. And then Randy says, sorry, Don. Sorry for that. Regardless, I think Aunt Amy was amused by it all. I appreciated her sense of humor, always always laughing, always quick, always having a good time with her friends and family. She made a wonderful home and drove the ship, just like every great mother. Aunt Amy impressed me, and I loved her. So that's I had to write mine down because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through this, but I'll give it a shot. When I think of Aunt Amy, the best phrase that I can come up with to describe her is love in action. My strongest memories of her come from the 2 summers that I spent living with her family in Millwood during my college years. My brother and I spent a lot of time there as my parents and sister were overseas, so it was a really wonderful quality time with her, Uncle Dick, John, Chris, and Beth. From the first minute we arrived, she made Randy and I completely part of the family. She now had 5 kids, not 3. She would show her love in very tangible ways, partitioning off the basement so that there was a private bedroom area for us. The first summer, she lined up a job for us. We were painting the windows of the Johnston's house next door. She had that all set for us when we arrived. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to paint a house, but we figured it out, and we had many happy hours outside with the music blaring. Another memory I have is when I got sick. I think I had bronchitis that summer. I was 19 or 20 and probably capable of finding a doctor on my own and getting myself to the doctor, but no, she took care of it all. She quietly made me an appointment and took me to the doctor and got me my medicine and paid the bill and took care of me. And that was just the way she was. She just quietly took care of people. And of course, she made endless meals for us. I hope I helped out in the kitchen. I don't know, but I hope I did. But I have many wonderful memories of sitting around the dining room table, having lots of conversations. But actually, my most favorite memory of Aunt Amy, and it's an image that I will have forever, is when she would sit in her kitchen table. When the work was done, she'd have her cup of coffee, and she'd have her hands around that cup of coffee, and she'd have all these high school, college kids around her, chatting away. So we surrounded her, and she would just sit there listening to us tell jokes and stories and schemes and goofing off and antics, and she would just sit there with the biggest smile on her face, just taking it all in with just that twinkle in her eyes I will never forget. She would giggle when somebody said something particularly ridiculous. Sometimes she would roll her eyes a little bit, or they would mostly just get really, really wide. Like she couldn't believe the stories that we were telling her, but she wouldn't say anything. She would just sit there and smile and love us. Sometimes if you really pushed her, she'd give you her opinion. But she would just offer it up so gently with a huge dose of tact and love and sweetness. So that's my most special memory of her, was just her being there for us and listening and loving us. And as I grew up and got married and had kids, like we've already talked about, she never forgot a birthday. And it wasn't just that she didn't forget it. She, like Kathleen said, you could tell that gift was just something that she had spent a lot of time choosing. She really knew my boys and knew what they loved and their passions, and she just never forgot to take care of them and make them feel loved by her as well. So many happy memories etched in my heart. She's a woman that I dearly love.
Woo.